welcome to the Little Blessed Homeschool YouTube channel. My name is Jenna, and I am a stay-at-home mom and a homeschool mom of two girls. Lily, who is 9, and she will be going into the 4th grade this upcoming fall, and Lucy, who just turned 4 and will be doing preschool this coming fall. In today's video, I wanted to do the curriculum that I have chosen for the upcoming school year. Now, I'm going to be focusing on 4th grade only for this video. I was going to do both together, but the 4th grade is so complex and I don't have as much for preschool, so I'm going to actually separate them into 2 videos. So this video today is just for 4th grade, and this is the curriculum that we have chosen for the 2022-2023 school year. Now, this will be going into our 3rd year of homeschooling. Our first 2 years was a lot of trial and error, and I am so excited for this 3rd year because I finally feel like I have a grasp on homeschooling, and I finally feel like this year is going to be the year that we finally put it all together. The first year we made a lot of mistakes. We did a lot of things wrong. I mean, not necessarily wrong, but it just didn't work for us. The second year, I switched curriculums a couple times. I was just trying to find our footing. And now this 3rd year, I think I finally have it all together, finally. So this curriculum that I'm going to go over for 4th grade may seem like a lot to some people. And it is kind of a lot. It's actually a lot of books. But the reason that I decided to do it this way this year was because I realized the last 2 years that my daughter doesn't learn the same for each curriculum and each subject. She learns differently. Like, she learns differently with math than she does with language arts. She learns differently with science and history. And so the first year we homeschooled, I bought the curriculum Horizons, and I bought the whole pack for 2nd grade. And it was very expensive, mind you. And my daughter liked some of it, and part of it she didn't like. So then I actually ended up only using that curriculum for about 3 months, and I spent money on it, but I just had to put it away. It just wasn't working. So we went to the Good and the Beautiful, and now we use the Good and the Beautiful for every subject. For the rest of 7th grade, the rest of 2nd grade, and then we used it for the beginning part of 3rd grade. We used all the Good and the Beautiful. And I slowly started to realize that my daughter really likes parts of the Good and the Beautiful, and then other parts she just shut down and doesn't like. So this year, I have decided to do curriculum for each subject is pretty much from a different company. And I pieced together a lot of her curriculum this year, and I'm hoping that this way she'll learn a little differently, and maybe that this year will be a little bit better. So let's start with language arts. And what I mean by language arts is reading, writing, spelling, and grammar. And so I took curriculums, instead of doing one whole language arts curriculum like from one company, I decided to piece together each one of those. So I'm piecing together the reading, the writing, the spelling, and the grammar are all from different sources. So the first up is we're going to do reading. So one thing last year, we did the Good and the Beautiful language arts. And while I love it, my daughter hates to read, which is really hard for me because I love to read. I would sit with a book all day long and just read if I could. Fortunately, I can't. But if I could, I love to read. I realized that my daughter, she's a very good reader. When you sit her down, she reads fluently. I mean, she'll stumble on a couple really hard words, but for the most part, she's amazing at it. But I started realizing she hates reading because the readers that you get with the Good and the Beautiful language arts are horrible. They are boring. They're not relative to kids these days, and they're horrible. They have good messages, so there's a plus. But they're not fun to read. I'm sorry, they just aren't. They're boring. And even I was bored. I mean, there was one that we were reading this year, and I almost fell asleep because it was that boring. And so this year I've decided to do something a little different when it comes to reading. So I am going to let my daughter pick her own books that she would like to read. Granted, I am going to have to screen the books because there are a lot of books out there that are not good. But once she chooses a book, I'm going to let her read it on her own. I got this reading journal right here from notconsumed.com, and I will add all of the stuff that I got in the description below. I really like this right here. It is a good reading journal. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to let her choose the book. She will read for about 20-30 minutes a day. I might up that as the year goes on. And then she will be answering questions every day about, there's worksheets for every single day, and she can answer questions, fill out the worksheets on what she's read that day. Now, this journal does repeat itself. So there are, I want to say 12 or 10 or 12 pages, and then they repeat. So you'll have a bunch to do for each book that your child chooses to do. But I really, really like this journal. So that was definitely, I had to do that one. That was a good one. So that is our plan for reading. Now for spelling, my daughter is a horrible speller. Here in North Carolina, we have to give our kids a end of year, or some people do it at the beginning of the year, test for state requirements. And every year, my daughter's taken it 2 years in a row now, and she has pretty much done horrible in the spelling department. She does great in every other thing except for spelling. So last year with The Good and the Beautiful, I didn't like how they did spelling. They kind of just give you like a few words every unit, and then they'll sporadically have you learn these words. And I think that you need to be more repetitive when it comes to spelling. So while I was at the homeschool conference a couple weeks ago, I found this, and it is called Purposeful Design Spelling. I got grade 4. I'm hoping that this will help with her spelling. This is from, I'm not sure, I think it's IEW that puts this on. But anyway, so every week she will get a list of spelling words. So they will be like this, and she'll get a list of words, and she will get them in print, and then the next day she will get them in cursive. And she will have to do one worksheet a day per her spelling words. And every week she gets a different group of spelling words. And then there's 4 worksheets. So you do one worksheet a day. And then on the 5th day, you give them a quiz on the words. And the reason I chose this, I don't know if I can find it, but is because when I was thumbing through it at the homeschool conference, it has, here I found them, crosswords. My daughter loves to do these, loves to do them. So that is one of the reasons I chose this, was because it had a lot of those in here, and it has a lot of activities that they can do with the spelling words that'll help them learn them. So that again is going to be our spelling curriculum for this year. So let's go on to grammar. Now, The Good and the Beautiful does really good on grammar, and I was originally going to buy The Good and the Beautiful Language Arts and just skip the reading, skip the spelling. But then I was like, but then what is the purpose of buying it? It costs a lot of money just to skip all of that. So again, at the homeschool conference, I actually found Fixit Grammar, which is by IEW. And the reason I chose this was because I really like how simple it is. These are an example of the pages. You do one page, so they basically go by week. So week 1, you'll do day 1, and then they have day 2, and then day 3, and then they start over a new week. So you basically do one of these pages a day, and they're just so simple. And I figured that that would be the simplest way to get her to do her grammar. And it also comes, I also got the teacher's manual, because if I like it, well, I just wanted it, but if I do like it, I then can use it again for my younger daughter, and all I would have to buy would be the student book for the next year. And these came as a pack, and because I got them, or because I went to the booth at the homeschool conference, I got free shipping. So that's why I got that as well. So the next thing is writing. Now, another thing I will tell you is my daughter is a horrible writer. And I realized that it wasn't because she's horrible at it, it was because she didn't know how to do it very well. So last year we used Essentials in Writing Level 3. We absolutely loved it. And we are going to use that again this year. But first, we're going to be starting with something else. We also belong to a co-op. And I decided to sign my daughter up for the writing class within the co-op. And they are going to be using this book, which is All Things Fun and Fascinating, again from IEW, for the first semester of her homeschool group in the class that she is taking. The teacher says that they are going to get through this entire book in 12 weeks. And there will be, so basically what's going to happen is that she's going to do a couple lessons in class, and then the kids will have homework to complete the other lessons at home and bring them in. So basically we're going to be doing this for the first semester. And she's hopeful that they'll finish the book by the end of the 12 weeks. If not, then we'll have some work to do at home, which is fine. And then the second semester, we are going to buy Essentials in Writing Level 4, and then she will do that for the second semester. I just didn't buy it yet because even though I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that, I'm not 100% sure. So along with writing is something that I also found at the homeschool conference. And this was just a vendor that was there who writes her own novels. And she had this Journaling for Kids book. Her name, it's not here. Okay, I'm not sure what her name was, but it's called Late November Learning is what it came from. So you might be able to Google her. But it's writing prompts that she will have. And I don't know if we're going to do a writing prompt every day or maybe once a week or maybe every other day. But there's 135 of these writing prompts. And basically it's very nice because she only has to write a few sentences and then draw a picture. Yes, I feel like this is a little young for a fourth grader to be doing, but you have to understand my daughter really does not like writing. And so I thought to get her interested in writing that I would buy this little journal that she could write in. And she only has to write, like I said, a few sentences. And my daughter loves to draw. So then she can draw a picture about what she wrote. And maybe that'll get her more interested in writing and she'll like it a lot better. So the last thing with language arts that I am going to be adding this year, which a lot of people said I should have done last year, but I felt that my daughter wouldn't have done a good job last year just because she's not very good at printing as it is. So we are going to be doing Catch On to Cursive. This is from Masterbooks. The reason I liked this one, it's very thick, but the reason why I liked this one is because it has a lot more interactive stuff that goes with it, and I felt that this would be a better one than the Good and the Beautiful handwriting, just because that's just literally pages every single day of just writing. And this has some fun activities to do, and it gives you guides to go do stuff with and activities to do as well. And I just thought that was more fun than just literally sitting down and doing a worksheet. So that is why I got Catch On to Cursive from Masterbooks. So that is all of the language arts that I have planned. So again, I have decided to basically do every single thing individually. So we've got reading, writing, spelling, and grammar. And we're doing each one I got from somewhere else. So now let's switch over to math. So for math, my daughter actually really enjoyed the Good and the Beautiful math last year. So we have decided to do the Good and the Beautiful Math 4, because I'm going to tell you right now, I love the Good and the Beautiful math. It's probably my favorite subject from the Good and the Beautiful. It is amazing. And fourth grade, I'm a little nervous, but if you want to just see, so like here's a sample of a lesson. The one thing I like about the Good and the Beautiful is that the kids will learn something one day and then they'll review it for a while in the reviews. And so there's worksheets that they go, so they'll do the lesson practice and then they will also, do a review. And I like that a lot. And so what I do is, because I like the Good and the Beautiful math so much, it's my absolute favorite, I buy the physical book, but I do not write in the book because you can download the PDFs for free on their website. And so I just print out the worksheets for my girls and I let them do the worksheets. And I print them black and white. I don't print them in color. But with the Math 4 from The Good and the Beautiful, they also will have a mental math mystery. So it's map mysteries. And they will go through. And this will have questions and answers in them. And it'll guide you on when to use this. And then thankfully, I have an answer key this year. The one thing that I don't like about The Good and the Beautiful is that their answer keys are for up until grade 4 are online in their PDF versions and they don't work very well. Sometimes they work great and I can pull them up on my phone and other times they just don't load. And so it was really frustrating last year when I would need to look for an answer because I wasn't 100% sure if we were doing it correctly. So I would look up the answer and be like, oh, okay, now that I see what the answer is, I can figure out how to do the rest. So anyway, that is one thing about The Good and the Beautiful math, like if you do anything other than grade 4, is that the PDFs, that answer key is on their website, and sometimes it's kind of hard to get those to come up. But that is what we've decided to do for math. All right, so let's move on to science. So this was hard for me because I have a degree in biology and chemistry, and I love science. It's probably my favorite subject. I absolutely love it. And I just feel like a lot of science falls short. We tried The Good and the Beautiful science this past school year. We did some unit studies. We did space, marine biology, and birds. And they were good, but they weren't as good as I was hoping. So actually, I bought this curriculum last year during a flash sale that Masterbooks was having. And I was going to do it last year, and we didn't get to it. So instead of buying something new, we're going to try this out. So it is called Science Starters, Elementary Chemistry and Physics. And this is for grades 3rd through 6th grade. So I'm hoping by 4th grade she'll be okay with this. But I love this kind of math, and I think I'll have a great time. But it comes with, so the chemistry comes with 3 books. There is the experiments, which I love doing experiments, so that'll be fun. There is a teacher's guide that comes with it. These are the experiments, then the teacher's guide, and then the students get a student journal. And I will let my daughter write in the student journals. Because if I do decide to use this for my other daughter, I will just buy that piece of it again. But so that's the chemistry side. And then the energy is the physics side. So this is what the energy looks like. And then these are all, this book is the experiments and like basically the textbook. And then there's a teacher's guide for me. And then again, there's a student journal. The one thing I do like about Masterbooks is that they actually, in the teacher's guide here, which has, it has more worksheets and stuff to do. But the one thing I like about Masterbooks is they give you, in the beginning, a suggested schedule on how to get through their books. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I modify them, obviously. I don't go word for word on what they say. But it does help me judge where I need to be by the end of a certain time. So this matter and chemistry does have enough for 180 days worth of lessons. So this is an everyday type curriculum. However, I tend to not do that because it gets kind of hard on especially elementary. I mean, she is upper elementary now, so it might be a little different. But I will probably modify it so we do it maybe 2 to 3 times a week, not every day. I'm thinking. I still have some planning to do on that, but I'm excited. I'm excited for that. So now let's go over to history. So last year we started history with The Good and the Beautiful, year 1. And it is so boring. History is not my favorite. I mean, I do like it, but it's just not my favorite. And I will admit, like, it is very boring. And so we switched to Masterbooks America Story 1. I actually let my daughter, I had her come with me to a homeschool store that we have local here in Raleigh. And I said, let's look through the history and let's find you something that you would enjoy learning about. And she wanted to learn about America. And so I said, perfect. So we got America Story 1. We were going to do America Story 2 this year, but when I was going to order it, I found something better, and I asked my daughter what she'd rather do, and she said this. So, we're going to be doing Passport to America this year. I'm super excited for this. So, basically, they will get a sticker sheet with all the different flags from all the different states. They have here in the front pocket their own little passport that just slides right in there. And it basically goes through each state. And they will be learning about each state individually. Let me see. So let's just pull up the first state, which is Alabama. So this is what like the first one would look like. And there's a recipe that goes with almost every state. So they'll learn about the food, the license plate, the agriculture, the square miles, the capital of every single state. So then like, here's Alaska. Now some of these recipes, so right here they have king crab is the food. I unfortunately have a shellfish allergy, so we will have to modify that. We may not be able to make that stuff, or she doesn't have a shellfish allergy, so I might involve her dad and say, hey, this is the food, this is the recipe, you need to make it with her because I cannot. So that might be something that we do. And also my daughter has a peanut allergy, so if anything involves peanuts, unfortunately, we won't even be able to do that recipe. Or we'll have to just like maybe look it up or something. But every state, like Arkansas, which I'm excited for this, has fried dill pickles as their recipe. So that is the book that comes with it. So that's the book. And then they have the teacher guide here. And it's for 4th through 6th grade, which is one of the reasons I did want to do it too, is because I wanted to get it done earlier than 6th grade. But let's just pull up here. So Arkansas. So here's like what you would do. So she would do these worksheets. And again, I let them do the worksheets in the teacher's guide. I don't. They are what's that called? Perforated, so you can easily tear them out. I will always let my kids do those because I feel like I could just purchase this book again because you can purchase them individually, and that would be cheaper than buying it all over again anyway. And there's fun things, but not every state. Most states do have a recipe, and the recipes are in this book. Let me see if I can find one with the recipe to show you. Okay, so Colorado, which, that's funny. That's exactly where I'm from. Their food is lamb chops. So not only will you get the recipe to make it, but then you get activities to do for each state. And again, Masterbooks does give you a schedule. And it is a suggested daily schedule, but again, like I always modify it because I don't feel that history, especially in elementary school, should be an everyday thing. So I will look at week 1 and I will just plan it out. So they want us to do, like, for example, Alabama and then start Alaska. So what I might do, honestly, is I might fit it in and see if I can do it where we can do a state a week. I know that there's 50 states that we have to get through. There's obviously less weeks in school, so we might have to double up a little. But I feel like we should learn all of Alabama, and then if we're going to start another state, we should do the whole state. Because like some of these schedules will say, like you'll start or you'll do Mississippi, and then on Friday you'll start Missouri. And I feel like that's not, if we're going to do 2 states, then we should do them both all together and finish in a week. Because I don't know about you, but my kids after the weekend, they're like, what did we learn on Friday? I don't remember. And the other thing that it does come with as well is an atlas for the USA. So it's a children's atlas of the USA. And it is a very good atlas. It's actually a really good atlas to have because when we were doing America's Story, it comes with an atlas as well, but it's of, for some reason, it's not of the United States because there's some lessons about Europe in there, so it has all the countries in it. And when we wanted to look up a certain state and where something happened, this would have been a good one. So I wish we would have had this past year, but we didn't. So the last thing that we are going to do is just something that I threw in. And the reason I'm doing this is because my 9-year-old daughter she's a very picky eater, but she's also wants to be super healthy. She does not want to eat junk food. She does not want to, eat a lot of crap. And she's so picky to the point where I have to figure out a way to get her to eat the good stuff, as well as, learn about why that this is healthy. So I got this from Masterbooks as well, and it is called Living Healthy. And we are going to do this as a health unit this year. This does not have a recommended age on it, and it is only this book, so there is no teacher guide in here. But the lessons, let's just pull up a lesson. So like lesson 29 is about table sugar. And it tells you all about sugar, and then they have nutritional facts in it. And I don't believe there is, okay, so there are 72 lessons in this book, and it does give you a suggested 1 semester schedule. Let's see if I can bring that up. Yeah, so it does give you, so basically it says you could get this done in 9 weeks, which would be basically like a semester, which you totally could. There's only 90 lessons in here. And so it does give you a suggested schedule. And so we will probably break this up for the whole year instead of doing just 1 semester, because 1 semester means you're doing something 4 days a week. And so we might break it up into just 2 days a week and do it for the whole year. Scheduling wise, I haven't 100% gotten to how I'm going to work out some of these schedules. I know for a fact that we are going to do math and language arts every single day. That includes everything that entails in both subjects every single day. We will probably do what we did last year, where we did science 2 days a week and then history 2 days a week. And then the 4th day or the 5th day, we only did language arts and math. But we also, like I said earlier, we belong to a co-op, and our co-op is on Thursdays. And so when co-op is in session, which is for 12 weeks during the semester, we don't do any formal schooling on Thursdays. We only do the co-op. And so that means that last year, for example, we did math and language arts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays. So almost every day. And then we would split it up where Mondays and Wednesdays were science, and then Tuesdays and Fridays were history. And we would split it up that way. Now I have a couple more components in here, like I have the Living Healthy book, which will have to be incorporated in as well, the Passport to America. And the good thing about the Passport to America is some of the recipes are breakfast food, some of them are just appetizers, and some of them are dinner. So I think to plan it out, I will make sure that if we're doing a dinner recipe, we might learn about it during the day, and then for dinner she will then do the recipe and help me, and that'll be our dinner for the night. So I'm actually I think I'm more excited about this Passport to America than she is, because I love to cook and I love to show my kids how to cook, because I just love it. So I'm hoping that will get us, that'll be good for her. And like I said, we're only going to do, we'll probably do 2 states a week. And so, yes, her days are going to be a little longer starting in 4th grade, but I mean, we already know that. For 3rd grade and for 2nd and 3rd grade, she on average would do schoolwork with a 15-20 minute break in there about 3 hours a day. I think that because of being in 4th grade now and being in upper elementary, we are going to be pushing that 4 hours. I'm hoping not, because she, I don't want her to get burned out either. And so we'll be probably like between 3 and 4 hours for 4th grade. So anyway, I will leave down in the description all of the curriculum that we are using and where to find them if you are interested in any of them. You can ask me questions in the comments. You can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is @LittleBlessedHomeschool. You can message me there. You can ask me any questions you'd like. A pretty open book. And I hope that you like this video. I am going to do a separate video on the preschool curriculum that I have chosen. I did buy all the physical books for it, but then I decided a little bit later that I want her first year of preschool to be more about play. So I am going to be buying a bunch of manipulatives to work with her, and I have not bought those yet. So once I buy those, I will do the preschool curriculum that I have chosen for this year. So again, if you like my videos, go ahead and like this video, comment if you have any questions, message me on Instagram, and definitely subscribe if you like our videos. So